Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to another episode of Dungeons & Dragons: The Second Age. How are we all doing?
Good.
Great.
Yeah, pretty good.
Well, as we are one player down this week, sad face,
Sad face.
we will be missing Lithari, but there'll be plenty to do in the meantime, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like debate what to do next.
Yes. Speaking of which, who wants to take a moment and remind me of exactly what happened the last time I played this game?
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no.
Rob was a fucking motherfucking troll! That's what happened
There
last
it is.
time.
Yep, there it is.
Oh,
Pure Luka rage.
Care to elaborate?
rage. He really had me going there for a minute.
Twice.
Twice. So, last time... What did we do
Luka
before
just
the wedding?
immediately needed to take a second.
What did we do before the wedding? You mean the time where you fought a dragon?
Well, no, okay.
Oh no, we didn't fight the dragon. We just brought the dragon home.
Oh, right, that was it.
yeah.
So we decided how we were gonna get the dragon and the logistics of that, which was, I'm sure, very exciting.
That's why we
It wasn't, that's why we skipped it.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, after that, we decided that we wanted to throw a party in conjunction with, what is it called, Love Day or something?
Well, yeah,
Love
the
Festival?
celebration of Lovers' Day or the Festival of First
Right.
Blossoms.
Because we wanted to celebrate the fact that the dragon was no longer terrorizing these people and we had killed a dragon.
Yeah.
So we all got together and we decided how to do that.
And Dahl had a special announcement because two of the mercs were going to get married. Well, no, one of the
Yes.
mercs was going to get married to.
A tradeswoman, I think, right?
She's all gems.
Yes. The marriage between Ada Kaladar and Nalea Cove.
Because of course we never asked their names.
You did.
No, we knew their names.
You knew their names, it's just, I don't know if anybody noted it down.
No, fair enough.
But then, so Grim potentially had some sort of dream. I don't know if did we ever get explained what that was? I know, I think Elizabeth did in character, but I don't think the rest of us know.
No, we
well,
did because we had a meeting about it
I-
afterwards.
Yeah.
I-
And
I
everyone was like,
explained-
Grim, tell us next time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, like I basically went to Elizabeth, talked about it to Elizabeth, and then the next day mentioned it to you guys. But Elizabeth had also had a dream.
Because Grim had told me, hey, let yourself be messaged by the Supreme Witch.
But, not advised.
And now I know the code for the teleportation circle that could potentially take us straight to the Supreme Witch's magic room.
Also not advised.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a bad idea.
Sounds like a really fucking bad idea, but I'm sure it'll happen anyway because
What the heck?
it's just the way it goes.
Well,
'Cause
like
that's how we do.
Have you
that's
got a better idea?
see, that's
Yeah,
what
it's
we're
called
gonna
not
find
working with
out
the enemy.
this session, hopefully.
Anyway, after that, we had our love festival and the wedding. Which was... I don't think anything happened before that, right? It was just...
Well, nothing of note.
No, you
no,
you talked about potentially what to spend some of your money on and what your plans were moving forward, and that was it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got into a small argument.
Over the nature of how we deal with the Cabal. And then we all stopped because we realized we were getting into an argument and that it was going to go nowhere. And so
Spoiler alert,
we
that'll
just said-
probably happen again this session.
Yeah,
Right.
because we said we'll save it till after the wedding.
Yep.
And now the wedding's happened.
Now the wedding's happened, so... Get ready for argument 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Oh, we did get more information about the person in the tavern who turned out to be that Tallithsyr and Sidani saw, who turned out to be I have it in my notes.
Oh
The
yeah.
seller from the the thing.
Person who sold loads of dark steel to our big bad evil vampire lord man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have her name written down, but it's in my book that I don't have out yet. Like a fool.
Yes. I don't have that open either, believe it or not.
Good job.
Well, we're off to a great start.
But yes, you confirmed that the identity of the mysterious woman that Tallithsyr and Sidani had met was the same as the person who you decrypted the ethereal cipher, who had left the ethereal cipher.
Yes.
Whose
It's
name
interesting and mildly
is... Scroll.
And I think it's a bit more than mildly concerning.
You know, I mean, on the scale of things that we're dealing with right now, that's on the mildly concerning part because, you know.
We got bigger shit to deal with.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Then
Yes,
again,
Nira
we have bigger
Hylas
shit to
is the
deal
name
with
of the
than these
merchant.
not
Yes. Hylas, that's right.
Yes. So yeah. Turns out that between the two, they've got a good set of eyes and ears.
I'm so proud of them.
Nice one, Sidani and Tallithsyr. Top tier investigating.
Oh. The
But
young
yeah,
ones
so
can
we had our
listen
wedding.
and see. Oh.
During the wedding, Elizabeth tried to hit on what's her name?
Hit on is a
Elenia.
strong word.
Elenia.
Hit on is a very strong word.
Also, to Elizabeth's credit, she waited until the general party after the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Elenia
She has
turns
a
out
fiancé.
she's engaged, so that didn't go particularly well.
No, it really didn't.
Oh.
Poor Elizabeth.
But then it's okay, because then we could chill with Iloran and Simone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Simone was very unwell.
So Simone was very unwell.
And had pains. And so everyone was like, is this Babby?
Yes.
And even Iloran was also like, is this Babby? Simone then, after attempts to make her feel better, then also started going, is it? No, it's just an infection.
Just an infection.
An infection
But
that might
man.
stop Babby if it's not stopped quickly.
But man, oh man, he had us going there for a minute.
I did.
Yep. We were all like, is this Babby?
And I was very cross.
It was not Babby.
The amount of times that I think Luka was ready to just murder Ferrous last session.
It's
very
real.
high.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really real.
Gotta live life on the edge.
Wow.
The edge of death.
Yeah. So our story resumes where it ended last time, with all of you gathered in the mess hall of the Amber Eagle stronghold, bidding goodbye to Lady Elenia as she takes her leave to return to the capital. She finishes up her preparations, begins to finish casting the spell. Her bodyguards step up, and she turns to the five of you and sort of says, well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for... And she indicates the boxes of various dragon organs that she has scattered around her. Thank you for all of this. I really think this will be a great boon to the Academy's research. I'm very interested to find out what will come of all of this.
And we'll be very interested in your findings.
She sort of she turns to go back to finishing her preparations and sort of says, oh, and do be careful with everything else that's happening. I realise that what we spoke about may have been overshadowed slightly by this whole dragon affair, but there are still dangerous people out there, and well, I'd hate for anything to happen to you.
Fortunately, we've been able to hold on so far. Well, be sure to watch out yourselves, because, well, apparently this time we weren't actually the target.
Yes. Well, when I return to the capital, I will no doubt be kept a close eye on, as is standard. But I will take extra precaution myself. I wish you good luck in whatever it is that you decide to do, and as I've said before, anything that I or the Academy can offer you that may be of use, please come and find us or let us know. I know you have several friends in the capital now who'd be willing to help out in whatever way that they can.
Depending on how things work out, we might end up in the capital sooner than you'd expect.
She nods and sort of says, well, let me know when you arrive, if you do come along. I may have something to share with you, depending on how all of this goes.
Oh. That would, well, we'll make sure to stop by. It's always a pleasure.
She shakes your hand. She turns to Elaran Smyrny and says, so, I take it then you'll be returning at your own pace? And Elaran sort of like nods and says, thank you for the offer, but yes, we have duties to get back to, and it's quicker to walk from this there. Excuse me, let's try that again. It's quicker for us to walk home from here than it is to take a carriage from the capital, and she sort of like looks accommodatingly at him as he sort of like looks a little bit awkward. She says, I understand that you don't, well, the attention is still a little strange to you. And he sort of smiles and nods and says, yes. I think one day I'll be used to coming back to, well, being the son of the Exarch, but I still prefer being Illa Moonbrook for the time. She nods and says, well, don't be a stranger, both of you. Walks back to the center of the circle, inscribes the final rune, and as the portal opens up in the center, she and the two storm guards step through and, pulling the crates with them, disappear into the fold, and the portal collapses, leaving a chalk dust outline that slowly disperses.
So, that's the last of the dragon business officially put behind us, I guess.
Well, I'd like to say that, but I realized that in all the fuss, we never actually got around to looking at some of the other stuff we found there.
I suppose we didn't. It was all recovered, though, right?
I believe so. If
Like, yeah, I'm assuming Von Dahl's around, and if he is, Elizabeth turning to Von Dahl, because he probably knows.
Yeah. He nods and says, yes, the majority of it has been recovered. I've taken the liberty of opening us an account in town.
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea.
Well, I didn't fancy handling all of that coin myself, and, well, around here there really isn't that much place to store it.
Also true.
There is not. However, I remember we found found a bronze figurine and a potion, like a blue potion with something happening inside.
You did.
I never actually took a closer look at those. there seemed to be something special about them.
Yeah, like Vondal sort of says, well, if you want to take a look at them, I had the more interesting pieces taken to my office.
Okay. Well, we should probably actually have a look, because who knows what treasures they buried the dragon with. Which seems like an odd thing, but oh well. We never actually got I don't think we ever got a count of the total amount of gold. Was
Did you not?
like well, no, I say well, there was more meant in character, but I believe it was 300,000. That was the number we got.
300,000 total, possibly, yes. So, yeah, I suppose both in character and out of character. Let me do the maths for all the art objects as well.
So I haven't added the horde gold to our fund.
So, whoops, I just deleted all of that. I did not mean to delete that. So, in total, the gold value of all of the art objects, gems, platinum and gold pieces totals 313,550 gold.
313, 550? What
Yes.
what? Okay. Well, that is that's well over 13,000 more than I thought.
Yeah, Vondal sort of smiles and says, yes, they had to clear out some of the vaults in town to store it all, so, some of the gemstones I managed to sell off to the merchants in town, but some of them were a little too large for anyone to afford.
Well, I feel like currently we're probably best to keep our treasures a little condensed if we can.
I would agree.
I imagine gemstones are, well, they're a lot easier to carry than their weight in gold or their value in gold.
Almost certainly.
Yeah, and Vodos also says, on that note, there's our contribution to the events of last night to factor in, as well as something I wanted to pose to you, Grim.
Of course.
So, our contribution, considering the events, considering everything that we did for the town wanted to give us at least something to say thank you for the efforts. I said that it was perfectly fine and that we would take simply the recognition and what goods we'd hold from it. I don't really know how to say this, but they want to put up a memorial. I haven't talked about what or how big or anything along those lines. I said we might perhaps prefer something like a building, perhaps, or an extension rather than statues. But I wanted to run it past you first.
I definitely believe that we should go with some kind of representation of the guilds rather than us personally.
I think a plaque on the wall sort of deal might be, well, a little more in line with the way we've been doing things. But if you've got any better ideas, I'll happily hear them.
Yeah, well, I think the others might be might have some ideas. Currently, I'm not quite sure what to do. Like a plaque sounds fine. I'm not I'm not quite sure what kind of memorial they were thinking of. Like if it's just of the event, or if I assume it's the event they want to memorialize mostly.
Wait, the memorial of what now?
They want to put up a memorial to thank you for helping them by slaying a dragon.
Helping them. Sorry. I have to laugh.
Dang.
Well, you did help them because they
Wow.
couldn't have done anything without it.
That implies that they helped us somehow,
No,
which they didn't do.
you helped them by slaying a dragon.
Yeah.
But no. Yeah. Vondal sort of like looks to the rest of you to see what suggestions you proffer.
So Bitch is probably like shrugs at this is probably stupid, but an amber eagle?
See, that had crossed my mind. However, I kind of like one of the things I was thinking about is if they want to show us a gesture, I don't want to ask them to empty their coffers for something.
No, of course not.
Like a plaque seems more affordable.
Exactly. I did say it was a stupid idea.
Although, see, honestly, it's probably better than my idea. Because I'm pretty sure I'm assuming there's a well in the village or in the.
There are many wells, yes.
Or many wells. See, what I would suggest is replace one of the well roofs with like an eagle cover, like like kind of an eagle design covering the well. But that I don't know why I went there.
Or have an eagle roost on the well?
You know, that doesn't
no.
sound like a bad idea. Some sort of ornamental decoration added to something already in town. And I guess a plaque at the base explaining why.
Yeah.
It's the kind of publicity that would go a long way, I feel.
Because
I guess the question.
I guess because sometimes a plaque isn't particularly eye-catching.
Yeah. The real question is, do we involve the dragon or not?
Do we need to?
I think it'd be a good idea. I mean,
I got it. The eagle's holding the dragon in its mouth.
The
Whole
whole last dragon.
Oh my god!
maybe not the whole dragon.
The
Well, like,
whole
just-
dragon.
Well, like things don't have to be to scale.
Yeah, we can make the dragon like smaller than the eagle. And it's just like
Yes.
holding it by its neck.
Well, because hey,
Ah.
combined, we were greater than a dragon.
Yeah.
I guess.
You know, like, you always see the images of eagles holding like snakes.
Yeah.
That, but with a dragon.
Ah.
I think this is getting a bit into the realms of creativity beyond what maybe I'm capable of noting down or.
I mean, if you wanted to go simple, you could just have it stood on the dragon's skull.
Well, see,
From the back of the room, Lithari calls out and sort of says, "Well, I have a couple of ideas."
Do go for it.
Well, I'd need to put quill to paper, but I'm sure I could come up with something.
that's not really an idea now, is it?
Well, it's
She
the
folds
formings
her arms and sort of like pouts at you.
it's the formings of an idea.
Uh,
All,
I mean-
all good ideas have to come from somewhere. Also, some ideas are very, 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 very hard to put down on paper. Well,
But
no,
I
to
would-
like explain with words.
I would agree that like she is a little bit more artistically inclined than most of us.
Literally any
us.
of us.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in the sense of just art as, a painting.
Well, I'm
But
sure
if you
she's.
consider like art generally, she does have more fields that you could consider an art form.
Well, how about we'll just let Lithari come up with something.
Yeah.
And then
Yes. Well, but yeah, we at least have the idea if we're adding to a well.
well,
Yeah.
see,
Or
like,
something else for that matter.
well, the best thing I can come up with, like on the spot right now, is we basically have like an engraved roof of the well. The only downside, actually, if we do an engraving, we should probably do it along the edge because the roof is the first thing that's gonna, well, whether they'd have to like maintain it the most.
Well, I've got some time and some things that I want to do in town anyway, so leave it with me and I'll come up with something.
I mean, I'm inclined to agree with whatever anybody or any of you come up with. I don't quite see the need for a memorial to begin with, but just kind of shrugs.
I feel like it's more for them than for us. I think.
Vondel
Gives
sort
them
of
some-
nods and says, I think Grim's correct in that sense. It's as much some way of them to say thank you to us in their own way. It's
Maybe it'll make them feel safer.
Well, and it's like
Knowing
in
that
all the
dragon
bad,
slayers are just up the hill.
like good things still happen, even if bad things happen.
that's
But well, I think
moving on to the second portion of their thanks to us.
oh,
I said we'd pay for some part of the celebration last night, but they wanted to chip in as well. I haven't had a chance to view the grand total of all of the expenses that came up last night. No doubt there'll be a few last minute things, there always are, breakages and such like. But we were looking in the region of 450 gold for the whole thing, well, at least our contribution.
no, that should be fine.
I just wanted on record I didn't break anything.
Well, fortunately, you don't have to.
Vondel sort of says, if a year ago you told me I'd be throwing a party that cost us 450 gold, I'd have probably broken down and cried at some point, but considering the haul that we just brought in and what we're looking at doing, you know what, I'll take it.
Honestly, if you were any less honorable of a man, I would be concerned that you just give it all away.
He sort of like leans back a bit and says, "What exactly is that supposed to mean?"
Why did I trust you?
Okay.
Did you? Well, remember back when you went to what was it? Oryx Gates.
Are you
Remember
referring
back
to the donation of food?
like the donation of food when we went to the to town with the 5 Talon gang, where you basically gave away all your food.
That was Renshire.
Oh, Renshire, that's it.
I gave food to starving refugees. I don't see the comparison.
I mean, and also, he could just make food at will.
Well, back then it
Whenever
was a
he-
bit more of an investment.
True.
Yeah.
But you could do it.
Yes,
Regardless
but
of what you can do, that
Yeah.
is
the ethics of relying on divine powers to... You know what? That is far too complicated a topic for this morning.
Hang on, if clerics can create food and water, why do churches not do that all the time?
Because it doesn't last indefinitely.
No, and
Well, yeah,
you-
but there are lots of cities out there that have starving members of the population.
what I am capable of doing and what Kelariis is capable of doing is far beyond most of the rank and file orders of a church.
Fair enough.
You may have
That
one
is-
or two paladins blessed with divine ability, but the rest of people are just everyday farmers and workers. It's...
Yeah.
Don't let... I mean this in the nicest way possible. Don't let the gifts that you have been given cloud the rest of your worldview.
Fair enough.
Um,
As much as I don't like it, they say money makes the world go round, and sometimes it does.
it certainly does help.
On the subject
Then-
of expenditure as well, we discussed this briefly last time, but Tiff's designs, I've been looking
Yes.
over them again this morning.
Uh,
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but there were some designs that she drew up in the beginning, back when I told her that to sort of let her imagination run wild and come up with how she would see the ultimate sort of design for this place. And she excelled herself. She came up with designs for a stone-walled building, large internal compound, multiple structures, and I told her, that's great, but think about downsizing it a little. I'm not sure we're actually not in the territory of going straight for the big one.
I was wondering if you were about to say that when you started that line of thought. How
well,
long is something like that going to take?
I think if you, I think the first step would be drawing up an estimate, and assuming that we can make it happen for. I feel like we should keep a rather hefty reserve currently. So we keep the budget at I should also look at the others a little bit, 200, 250.
I was going to suggest 200. Also, I just like to point out, I love how we're saying 200 in the context of 200,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not 200.
Well, but we're also talking about castles, and
True.
Yeah. Castles are expensive, yo.
True.
But yeah, 200,000.
200 stone, 200 gold.
No. For a castle, we need 650 stone.
Oh, it's 650 stone, yeah. Anyway.
Wait. Do you mean saying 200 is in the budget for the castle is 200, or leave a reserve of 200?
oh no, I think it was the reserve of 50, 50 to 100,000 in reserve should be more than enough. Even we went out of our way to, create something very exotic and powerful. With the sword, we did.
Although this is
Lithari.
also I guess we also have to bear in mind that this is before we've considered potentially increasing the number of mercs we have amongst
Well,
other
that
things.
will.
That was going to be my second point. Once we build the place, we're going to need to fill it, and I think we're going to have somewhat of an uptick in interest once word gets out about the whole dragon situation, but I also wouldn't mind boosting that a little to try and bring in some more. And honestly, getting some just general staff in. I mean, As much as I enjoy having a lot to do around here, I would appreciate some help.
Oh well, I think
Yeah.
we can probably afford a couple of people. Although I wouldn't want to, rob them of like having a nice place.
Yeah, like a cook.
Well, at least a place. But yes, also something like even if we spend that like 250,000, it's not like it's not gonna be gone like tomorrow. It's gonna take I'm guessing it's gonna take at least a year, maybe two, before the castle is done, before we've spent all the money.
Honestly, I'm thinking a year or two is looking a little on perhaps even the conservative side of things. In the optimistic side of things.
Yes, a year definitely. 2 years, I would like. I will. Wait, we are currently talking in like a private setting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess we're in the war room.
No, you're still in the canteen,
Or are
but
we-
basically,
oh.
like all of the stuff has been moved to the sides to do the teleport
Oh, yeah.
ritual,
So
and
no one's
Well, it's more for like even like for our mercenaries and stuff, or
yeah, no, there's nobody in here other than you guys and Eleanor and Smony. But
because there is apparently there is potentially an attack being planned on us, and I'm not quite sure if it's targeting, well, the compound, or if it's targeting us specifically. So it might be like if we're gonna do a big building project, we should probably put some focus on getting the defenses set up first.
increasing security. Also, I've just had a thought. Like, if we want more people to, help out around here, I could see if maybe my siblings would be up for coming round, seeing if we could convince them to join. Like, they're pretty good. They're pretty good fighters. Young, but
See, if you want to do that, I would suggest we wait till times are a little calmer, because currently we have no idea what's going to happen. And I feel like just having people like Visera around that we have a very close personal attachment to is a little risky, because like I'm sure you are aware as well, Kelariis, she tries her best, but she isn't quite up to our
Clarence is about
standards.
to fight.
Kelariis is resisting the urge to punch Grim now.
And it just makes her a vulnerability. And well, I wouldn't deny Kelariis the option, nor Visera, but it is a risk.
I know.
But in this case, it's like I'm not going to forbid you from doing it. I'm gonna suggest you wait until maybe after we've finished the castle or building, or
it's
whatever it's gonna end up being.
Yeah, I see your point, but it's not like they're not in danger right now.
Yeah, but
Well,
there's a difference between like actively involved with us and just
Also
like
true.
living their lives.
And I will have you know, Grim, the Sierra and Sedani, for that matter, both pull their own weight around here.
Oh damn.
Oh, I'm not saying
there are
they're
a lot
not.
of things they would not get done, or that would not get done if they weren't here. But I do understand what you're saying about the risks.
Vondal sort of chimes in at this point and says, "Not that I'm willing to put just anybody's lives on the line, but it is different putting family in the firing line. We're all here by choice, and whilst we can give them the same choice, we've all been through things that even regular adventurers don't come across every day of their lives, and I would be surprised if that doesn't continue."
I mean, to be fair, I probably don't need to, because I mean, if they know where I've gone, and if they start hearing the name Amber Eagle, they may even turn up of their own accord.
Well, that's different because then they've made their own choice to come here.
Yeah, exactly.
Although, even though I don't think we generally haven't done this too much, if they show up, we should if the others agree, I feel like they shouldn't be aware of circumstances to some degree.
Oh no, I'm not saying get them involved with what we talk about with the war room. Gods no.
No. What I'm trying to say is make sure they understand that this is more than just becoming a mercenary.
Oh no, I'd explain that to them.
Okay.
I promise.
But
In fact, I think Cleomenes would be pretty happy about that.
well, I guess that's settled to some degree. I assume.
Yeah.
Does anybody have one? Well, I guess. Do people want to see the plans, or?
Well, yeah. Like, should we get Tiff?
So I don't know if anybody has. Well, I guess I asked last time, but nobody came back.
That's a question as well. Actually, did we see Tiff during the party, and was she very, very drunk?
You did, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a whole scene about it.
Yeah. What time is it now?
Probably like by the time she finishes setting up like the ritual and everything, and everybody's been up and sorted, it's probably like 9 a.m. something like that.
Yeah. Okay, then Elizabeth's gonna go. Well, then, shall we go get Tiff and see what the plans are, or do we let her sleep off the presumably hangover she's now probably got?
Well, we can do that whenever we want. Let them have their sleep, I guess.
But I mean,
The bigger, I feel like there's there's still the big issue that we need to discuss before we leave.
whoever's in the room.
Because we didn't quite figure out how or what before, and there's a lot of disagreements about what we're gonna do next. So I feel like there are some things that we should just to like. I'm trying to think of a way that we can at least prevent anyone from crossing any lines they do not wish to cross. Because that is
at this
the
point.
hardest part.
At this point in the discussion, Elrond sort of like in the background sort of clears his throat and sort of says, "I take it you guys have important business to discuss. Simone and I will probably. We've got some things to discuss, but we probably will be around for a little while longer, and then we'll say our goodbyes. But if you guys have important business, then I guess just come and find us."
Of course. Well, you're always welcome to be around and stay and do as you please.
Yes,
but we'll be. I guess we should probably retreat to the war room for a little bit.
I may have said this before several times, but it's a pleasure finally meeting you two.
They both nod towards you, and so says, "Well, I guess Simone would say this actually." Simone sort of says, "I've heard a great deal about all of your adventures recently, from what Arya tells me. I have to say, I'm impressed is the wrong word, but you guys definitely have. Well, you're in a whole different mess to the one I found you in the last time. But if there is ever anything Elrond or I can ever do, then I guess all you have to do is ask."
I think the key one that my friends could agree with would be stay alive.
Wow.
Why?
I feel like that's.
At
I
which
feel
point
like that
Elizabeth
would.
would probably like look really like confused as if she can't believe she just said that and go, God, I'm turning into Grim.
I was gonna say, you've been around Grim too often if you're saying things like that.
Well, like I feel like even that one is implied for me.
Well, with any luck, that shouldn't be too difficult. But thank you anyway.
Well,
So,
I guess.
yeah, as you're sort of like heading out the door, Simone sort of like takes you by the arm, Arya, and sort of like takes you to one side. And as everyone else sort of like tails out the door, she sort of says, "I've been meaning to ask you something."
What's the matter?
Well, I'm sort of wondering how you're holding up.
Well, I'm doing all right.
She sort of like looks at you with like a piercing sort of look and says, "I know we both say that a lot, but
Dang.
Well, it's true, but
She's got you.
this whole business with the Cabal worries me deeply. I feel like if we make a deal with them, then we will inevitably end up regretting that deeply down the line. And I don't want to get ourselves in a situation where we have to regret it.
She sort of nods in understanding and says, "Well, I know it's not quite the same, but when I went through what I went through, I regretted it as well."
That's what I'm worried about.
If you can avoid getting into something like that, it's not something that's easy to come back from, even if you're just pretending.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell Grim and Elizabeth, but they don't seem to think it's a big deal.
Can't speak
I
for
just don't think
Grim,
they're.
but I'm sorry, carry on.
Oh, I just don't think they're looking ahead and thinking about what could happen if we embolden them further.
She says, "Well, I can't speak for Grim, but for folk like Elizabeth, life is short.
Exactly.
They only think about the difference they can make here and now, which in and of itself is an admirable thing, but I feel like sometimes it's our obligation to be at the back, sort of keeping an eye on things, making sure that nobody really goes astray. It's sort of the curse of long life, really."
Mm-hmm.
She sort of puts like both hands on your shoulders and sort of says, "Don't let that get you down, though. What you're doing is honestly incredible. Every time I read one of your letters, I can only imagine what it's like to go through what you've been going through, but the experiences that you've had are, well, they should be cherished."
Yeah. It's been a difficult time for sure lately, but I'm hoping eventually figure out a way to deal with them. Hopefully sooner than later. I meant to ask you too, are you feeling better?
She sort of like lets out like a sort of like a half smile that's sort of a grimace, and she sort of says, "Yeah, I had a chat with V, and well, she's given me something to help out."
Oh, good. Yeah, V's good at that sort of thing. LOL.
She
so-
smiles and says, "Yes, yeah. I can't imagine what it must have been like when the two of you first travelled together, but she's certainly grown a lot, and she's learned some things."
She definitely has. Sometimes I find myself looking at her and remembering the young, untested little dryad we met back in the first days, and sometimes it's hard to connect those dots.
She smiles and says, "Yes, I still remember sitting in the dock in that makeshift courtroom, and looking at her across the benches, and just seeing this resolute face that just seemed so out of character on such a young visage."
Mm-hmm. She was pretty determined even then to do right. That has not changed for sure.
Well, I won't keep you any longer, but keep your chin up, okay?
You as well. Make sure that if you and Ilran ever need anything, we will be more than glad to help.
And likewise the same.
I love their friendship. Prize. Actually, I just love Simone, let's be real.
Rip Mike.
That was my...
Yeah, she sort of offers you like a short hug and then leaves you to it.
Oh, my best friend Simone.
OT.
Well-
3.
OT3, not quite.
Dang. That was
Simone,
quite a jump.
Simone has 2 hands.
More like more like bro TP.
No, yeah, I know.
Yeah. But yeah, the rest of you all congregate in the war room.
I think we almost forgot again the to look at the statue on the stuff. We're gonna keep on forgetting.
Yeah, so potion.
Don't know if there's any other loots, but
So how are you going about identifying these things?
I guess the way we usually do it, just have
I mean,
uh,
I'm pretty good with magic and stuff.
let's have
And
a look.
even if I mess up the check, I can just fucking cast Identify.
Have you considered just casting Identify?
I feel like casting Identify might be the prime solution.
Yeah, it just takes a while.
I mean, we're not exactly in a massive rush right now, I don't think.
True. Well, how many things do we have to identify?
I believe 2, but like
Yes, there are 2 things to identify.
Cool. 22 minutes casting Identify. Twice.
well, like we don't need to do. It doesn't have to happen like at this exact moment. But I felt like because last session I wanted to do it and completely forgot about
Yeah,
it. At
true.
the session before, I was just like, oh, we got it, and then yeah, well,
I mean, it's totally possible for Elizabeth to just be sitting in the fucking war room ritual casting, right?
Yeah, you can do that while the rest of you are having a conversation.
we'll do that.
Yeah.
Do it
Well,
that way.
Well, yeah. I guess the thing is, can I still engage in the conversation if I'm doing that?
Yeah, as long as you're not doing any strenuous activity.
Okay, cool.
Uh,
Just be sitting there drawing like a tiny ritual circle on the table, and then just sitting there holding whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Because I have to remain in contact with the item for the full cast time of the spell.
So I now need to find which book the potion came from and where the.
Well, I guess we can just start with
Yeah.
role playing.
Yeah.
Start with our discussion.
Well, as I started to mention when back in the dining hall. We are gonna be going into a rather dubious situation potentially.
Dubious is a small word for what we're getting ourselves into.
Indeed.
Yes. Well, and in order to prevent, let's say, massive outrage and things along those lines, I feel like we should make sure that it's clear where everybody, like, what everybody thinks that we should, or where people think that we should stop. Like, because talking to them, that's one thing, that's fine. Like, then, for example, there's things that are definite no-nos, like joining them and giving them the crown. I think people can agree with that.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I'm sorry. Grim saying definite no-nos was just a lot. Sorry.
Definite no-nos.
I mean, I know where I draw the line personally.
Well, if you know where your line is, that would be. Oh, what is it? It would be good to know.
Honestly, I've been thinking about it a lot. I'm honestly now thinking the only thing I'm even really comfortable like doing about the Cabal is going over there and helping them with the Dread Legion and leaving. I don't even know if I'd necessarily be okay with talking to them anymore. Let's make sure the Dread Legion doesn't completely wipe them out and just leave the two to fight.
Interesting. So you don't actually want to interact with them at all. You just want to head over there and deal with the Dread Legion.
Well, I definitely want to deal with the Dread Legion. I definitely don't want us to sit back and watch the Cabal be destroyed by the Dread Legion. We definitely I definitely think we should help them with that. But I'm not sure where I stand on talking to them. We don't know that much about them. So on the one hand, it's an opportunity to try and figure out more about them, just exactly who they are, what they're doing, why they're doing it. But again, talking to them opens us up to them finding out more about us, and I think they already know quite a bit. In fact, well, obviously I know they already know quite a bit because I told them, but
what do
you know what I mean? They don't need to know more.
Never mind.
Yeah, like they don't need to know more, and I don't know. They probably definitely have the means to figure out more. But to be fair, like we would even learn more about them just by helping them fight the Dread Legion.
Just to slow you down a little bit.
Yes,
this is not about what you want to do. It's about the things that you definitely do not want us to do. Because things that we want to do is always a lot easier to work with, I say a lot easier. It's actually a lot harder to work with because you don't know what you can and what you can't do.
Well, I guess what I don't want to do then is help them with anything outside combating the Dread Legion, or give them willingly give them anything that is ours: information, possessions, anything.
Okay. From what you've told me, I think it's safe to say that you would not want to cooperate cooperate as in like a joint operation.
If it's against the Dread Legion, fine.
Okay, because I feel like that is gonna be one of the I feel like that's something others might object to.
Yep.
Well, I think we've got a little bit of an image of what you want to, or picture of what you want to achieve. Kelariis, Arya, which one of you wants to draw a line?
I mean, I'm not comfortable with working with them in any way.
Same.
Well, there's a difference between being comfortable and saying, I won't do it.
Alright, then let's rephrase that. I will not work with people.
You want a definite no? We got that.
Okay,
That's-
To
good.
be clear, that doesn't mean that I am against, for example, going after the Dread Legion. I just will not work side by side with the Cabal.
Yeah, okay, so that's where any form of joint operation or having anyone, I assume anyone of them like temporarily guide us is out of the window. Correct?
Jayla?
Yeah, sorry, my internet was dying for a second. I was waiting
Oh.
for it to go back into not red.
Okay, I'll repeat it. So I assume that also include I assume that includes stuff like them sending someone along with us to assist or like anything beyond just telling us stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
So you would be alright with it if they just told us where the Dread Legion were and what they were doing, we went there and we kicked their butts. And then we went home.
As much as I would
I
prefer
think
to
this
get
is
the
a prime
information
opportunity
elsewhere.
for us to take down the Cabal.
But like,
If I'm being honest, they're weak. We know they're struggling.
I don't want to take down the Cabal. That's the hard
Why?
no. Because they are fighting the Dread Legion as well.
Yeah, and what happens when the Dread Legion gets out of the way? You know who they're coming for next? Us.
Yes, but they're not as powerful as the Dread Legion. Their goals are also much harder to achieve and much more easily reversible.
Easily reversible. What about world domination is easily reversible?
It's more reversible than world destruction. Do you want to remake the world after the Dread
I
Legion
feel like
completely annihilates it?
let's just go back to what we were doing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like because this is where we kind of run into problems again when we start arguing about that kind of stuff. Although perhaps
Yeah. We're drawing lines in the sand.
I'm going to admit Arya has a point. And we'll bring it up after we've we'll dive into that afterwards. So I think I've kind of figured out where Kelariis stands on things. Like basically speaking to them is kind of the limit.
Yes,
And-
it's a place. And even that is on thin ice.
And I'm guessing I feel like Arya is I feel like you are gonna probably have the harshest words to say or lines to draw.
Arya?
Should probably
What,
have started
sorry?
with you, to be honest. Oh, I said, Arya, you probably. I'm guessing you start like you draw the line. I'm guessing you. Look, I'm guessing the line you draw is going to be the the harshest one, I would say. But like, would you? I guess we'll just start off where Kelariis left off. Are you even okay with talking with them in any way, shape, or form?
I just don't think it's a good idea. I think if we start working with them at all, it's a slippery slope, and I don't think it'll be easy to get back up from.
So you're against any corporation?
Pretty much. But I feel like that line has already been crossed without the whole party's consent, which is another story.
Oh, no actions have been taken. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. There's been one action taken.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, I guess there is the point that we should raise. Of, well, like Arya mentioned, the Cabal is weak. This might be the only time we have any real chance at stopping them. Because there is one big difference between the Cabal and the Dread Legion. The Dread Legion is a lot more clear in their goals and what they want to achieve. The Cabal, we assume it's world domination to some degree, or control, but their true goals are rather vague at best. So this opportunity of getting into their base and having a look around could simply be dealing the final blow to their operation. I don't know how people feel about that. I assume, well, it's clear that Elizabeth, you would prefer to keep them alive.
I honestly think that's a line I draw.
Why?
Well, they're useful.
I think
are they
it should be clear that, like, when I say you draw a line, it's a line that we will never cross. So you would never want to annihilate them in the future either. Because I feel like that is, because there's a bit. I feel like that should be
with our current
clarified.
information about them, maybe never ever is strong. But while the Dread Legion is still a threat, yes.
You can't make one deal with the devil against another devil and expect it to all work out. Just because they're not fighting us actively right now doesn't mean
we don't have to make a deal with them. If they want our help, they point us at the Dread Legion, we fight some Dread Legion, and we leave. We owe them nothing. If anything, they owe
Except then,
us.
our resources are depleted, we're exhausted, we're vulnerable to attack, they know exactly where we are, what we're doing. What's to stop them from turning on us as soon as we fight the Dread Legion?
Because they realize we're useful.
Yeah, I feel
And
like
what
they
do
might.
They do when they decide that we're not useful anymore?
I think
What's
more
stopping them?
importantly, what did they do when they realize we're a threat instead of potential allies? Because you said it yourself, you wouldn't have anything against potentially getting rid of them in the future. Like, why wouldn't they? I guess the real question is, why wouldn't they get rid of us?
I don't know. It's not like it's unusual to temporarily make a pact with someone you maybe don't like to deal with a larger threat.
That is true. But I would have to, like, I do have to kind of agree with Arya that because like the Dread Legion, the Cabal have shown that they will basically do anything to achieve anything. Which,
Well, also, I'm sure this is a saying you've all heard: keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Vondar sort of chimes in at this point and says, "I've never been fond of that phrase."
Mood.
I mean, I know it's not a great phrase, but it does have merit of sorts. It's not exactly like the kind of thing that you'd want to take advantage of all the time, but in specific situations, it's
I feel,
useful.
I feel like it mainly applies to intelligence and networking.
Which is honestly part of what we need against the Cabal right now.
Yes.
In fact, even then, even if we were to fight the Cabal, I don't think it's a fight that we could fight in the same way. Like, we fight the Dread Legion by going to where they're attempting to gain influence, stomping the shit out of them, basically, and, you know, cancelling their routes into the material plane or whatever. Like, that's a war we know how to fight. But do any of you know how to fight a war of intelligence? Of subterfuge? 'Cause
Why
that's
do we
the
have to
war that
fight
the
that
Cabal would
war?
engage us in.
Yeah, but like, why are we
Weird.
letting them set the terms?
Well,
Yeah.
I feel like that you just made an argument why we should try and get rid of them there, because it's basically saying they're fighting a war that we have no understanding of, and they
So
might
we
use it
make-
against us.
Yeah, so if we make the war on our own terms, then we eliminate that issue.
Well, but then of course, the Dread Legion have one less enemy to worry about, and if they're strong enough to be beating the Cabal, they're probably strong enough to beat us as well.
You realize this is an issue no matter who we take on first.
Yeah.
But it's a,
No matter what, that person or that group will have one less enemy to deal with.
no one said we had to completely crush the Dread Legion right now. We just stop them from crushing the Cabal. If the Dread Legion are still a threat, the Cabal will still see us as potentially useful allies, and they won't turn on us.
That's a very
Yet.
risky line to walk.
It's also, yeah. We have
Yeah.
no way of knowing that.
If we push one side too far, then the other might come out on top. And then we might have more problems than we started with.
Oh,
I'm not saying there's an easy answer here, but I'm saying just agreeing to work with the Cabal because you think there's a perceived sense of morals there that might not be there is a terrible idea.
Elizabeth has
Is-
highlighted a good point, though. Whatever action we take here, we're determining who's the bigger threat.
that's for sure. I was going to suggest that because we've mainly been focusing as to why to help or why not to help the Cabal currently. I feel like the next step is to argue about the Dread Legion instead, because we've helping the Cabal is a risk, dealing with the Cabal is a risk, doing nothing is a risk. Well, it's kind of the options. However, let's see what happens if we just interfere with the Dread Legion. What would we? So I feel like the dealing with the Dread Legion, we have a few issues currently. Mainly that we know even less than we do about the Cabal somehow.
Yeah.
Which, as much as I don't like it, the Cabal seems to be the only source we have.
I get the
right
feeling
now.
that's intentional.
Yeah.
That could be. Like we did. I guess we did find some stuff. I think we never went back to it, but back in the desert, we found. I think we found something about like a black pyramid.
The black cigarette.
Oh, a ziggurat. That was it.
Yeah.
I feel like that could be our lead to deal with them if we, or at least a good source of leads. So we have something.
As a in-character reminder, the information you found out from Temerity through Kelariis, that you may have missed that boat already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because one of the things Temerity said when Kelariis asked her about the location of the artifacts was that the location of the Weeping Hexagram was unknown because the Cabal had taken, the Dread Legion had taken it from the Black Ziggurat and gone east with it.
But you see, there is a clue already.
What's
East.
east? Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that east is a very, very big area.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's east of the Black Ziggurat?
Um,
Pretty much everything.
oh man.
The Black Ziggurat is
Okay.
located within the Forbidden City.
Yeah. So okay, not everything, but a lot.
Yeah. We'd need.
Um, I feel like if we can come up with a good way to deal with the Dread Legion, or at least start looking into them, we don't have to have and this is how we get rid of them plan, but at least we need something to work with. I feel like I would be more inclined to use this opportunity to rid ourselves of a certain opponent. That said, do we actually know how to deal with? Do we have any clue how to deal with these vampires? I can't I thought we looked
Yeah.
back into it a little bit, but I can't remember the results.
Do we know? Yeah. Do we know how to kill a vampire?
We know a couple of things that they're weak to for sure.
But yeah. We also know sticking a stake through their heart paralyzes them because we've seen that.
Yes.
I believe you tasked Thalithsyr and Sidani with it, and they both did quite well.
Correct. I have a
Um,
bunch of notes somewhere. I think it's in my other book though, because I had to switch notebooks at some point.
Yeah, like it's a while back.
Yeah. So
uh,
been a hot second, but we did get stuff out of that. I did write like a whole,
Yeah.
like at least a third of a page in my notebook
Yeah.
about it.
yes,
So anyway, I think I remember in person how you kill a vampire, but don't know if I
Yeah.
remember in character.
I believe you discovered that if you kill them, they don't stay dead unless you destroy the grave sites that they have available.
Yes. Of course.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and we got a little disheartened. Well, I say
Yeah.
disheartened because it's like basically a coffin with a tiny bit of their burial dirt or something.
Yeah, and they could potentially have more than one.
Although that said, stake in the heart. Don't matter how many you got, you're paralyzed.
It's a little easier for someone to potentially pull the stake out, though. We'd have to find some way of securing them.
Well, the thing is that would give us the time to actually locate their grave sites and deal with them that way potentially,
True.
which may
It
be
is-
the option that we need to take until we can
Yeah.
definitely destroy them.
I would agree that that would be the better way.
But then we need a way to subdue them that we can get a stake through their heart.
Oh, there are ways.
Well, I'm sure that like if we just beat them to a pulp, they won't instantly pass away. Well, maybe if we do to a pulp exactly, but
Yeah, I didn't think you meant that literally.
I mean, I really think what we should consider now is what we have more of a concrete plan to deal with. Because sitting around and discussing plans forever is an option, but I don't necessarily think it's the one that we have time for.
I don't think we have enough information.
See, I think there is one thing that we can do that I haven't really considered. I don't think any of have considered the power of our wealth yet. We have the power to make like people look for us. Like we don't have to send them into danger. Admittedly, I'm a little worried that some people might dig too deep. But we can send messengers. We can do all kinds of things to.
Okay, now I've just had a thought.
The Dread Legion is hiding, and go from there. And then we see. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense just to rid ourselves of the Dread Legion. The only thing that I'm hoping for, I'll let you talk in a second, is do we want to see if we can learn anything from them before we start this mess.
The Dread Legion or the Cabal?
From the learn about the Dread Legion from the Cabal before we, well, start doing things
Well,
like staking people.
they'd probably have records.
Yeah, but would they have them here or there?
Oh, so
And
how
I'm-
would we get-
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
see why you wouldn't keep records of what you're doing in your magic room.
Well,
Like-
they may have other ways of keeping them, and if they have no limit on time for how long they can be around, records suddenly become less useful. At least to have
True.
just sitting around somewhere, I'd imagine.
And we do also have the example of them hiding stuff on the ethereal plane, in the pocket plane. Although
Yeah.
admittedly that wasn't directly theirs.
No, but they've got a reputation for being resourceful.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't rely on their intel being so readily available in their base.
See, the thing that
Nor-
concerns me about all these discussions is we've got two situations here when whatever we do comes to a conclusion. If we take out the Cabal, then we're going to be essentially be in a war with. Wait, hold on. Let me start that sentence again. If we take out the Cabal, we're going to be looking at a war with the Dread Legion. They've proven to be the less subtle side of things, although they have been good at covering their tracks. If we take out the Dread Legion, we're going to be hunting the Cabal, and I have a worrying suspicion that the moment we break break Dread Legion ranks, the Cabal are going to go into hiding, and we're going to have trouble nailing them down.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I have just thought of a potential expenditure we could make.
But like,
None of us are great spies, are we?
no. Well, that was
Like,
what
the
I suggested.
definition of like actually getting into someplace and spying on people. Because Arya would be great at that.
There's a bit more to spying than just sneaking into places, I'm afraid.
Well, that was
But-
kind of what I was suggesting earlier. Was my
Yeah,
making our wealth do
yeah,
some work.
exactly. We could have our own. We could get a network of spies. We could hire a spy master. We could get into intelligence, and we can have them, the experts, look into the Dread Legion and the Cabal for us.
Here's the thing about that. That implies sending people into an area that is extremely dangerous and putting their lives on the line in a way that I don't know.
Not necessarily.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it-
mean, getting information could be as simple as something we can do, like going to Ark and Tellerand and speaking to their master on Fiend and seeing what resources are available. It could be as
Well-
simple as that.
I felt like as well because both the Cabal and the Dread Legion have been fairly well at hiding stuff, but like usually the way people find out is through rumors. So like I'm assuming there's better ways, but one of the ways that we could, if we can get someone to keep track of like reports that are made to the guard, or just like listen to rumors in taverns and cities, and just notify us if anything is particularly out of place or out of character. They wouldn't have to like necessarily get into the danger. They would just have to alert us of like, hey, there's something fishy. Decide on what you want to do.
The Arantino boys performing the Black Sacrament.
Wow.
So yeah, like this is the thing. In order to deal with the threats we're dealing with, we need eyes and ears in as many places as we can get them.
See, I think we're gonna have to take out the ball first. I don't know if we're gonna. I don't know if. I don't know if they're all gonna be there because I feel like in order to not run into unending troubles, we're gonna have to get all three of the. We're gonna have to get the witch. We're gonna have to get the. I don't even know what he was called anymore. Lycidius. And we're gonna have to get
Lyria.
Yeah.
Basically the witch and the Zorandas.
I'm not sure if the witch is the leader.
And
But regardless, we're gonna have to get the
but
whole
then again,
shebang.
what if this turns out to be the kind of serpent whose head you cut off and 2 more grow in its place?
Grim, why do you say that about the witch? Didn't they make allusions to her being their leader?
Well, to some degree, maybe. However, it's hard to tell. Like she does seem to have some. She definitely has authority. However, it's hard to tell if she's actually the one that is being instructed to do stuff. Just has free reign to do as she pleases, or or is actually commanding everything. Because those are basically the 3 categories of membership, I'd say. However, considering how intense the Cabal is, as worrying as it sounds, they might not be too different from how we operate in some way. Except they have slightly other methods and intentions.
What do you mean by that?
From our encounters so far, did any of them seem particularly, subservient or out of place, or I feel like they might be on somewhat equal footing.
Possibly.
So you mean like a group of like-minded individuals working towards a similar goal?
Yes. Because you don't become 3 ancient vampires without if you're together for that long, either you like each other to some degree, or you hate each other. But I feel like with the amount of time they've had, they must have there has to be some kind of, well, not necessarily relationship as in close relationship, but they must have some form of trust between each other, because otherwise you can't run an operation this big and this varied.
In fact, you could argue that an operation so secretive and behind closed doors like this almost ironically relies quite a lot on trust.
Well, they do have a bit of mind control to help out.
Exactly.
But I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference for us in the end. I feel like if we take out their current leadership, there will be maybe they rebuild somehow. However, isn't there a thing about what happens to all the vampires created by the main vampire? Are they real?
I don't
Are
see
they
why anything would necessarily happen to them.
Well,
well, you can roll me, I guess, religion checks to see if you know anything that would suggest that.
Because what I was thinking is...
Never mind. Vondal chimes up and says, considering the... If what I know from the lore of vampires is anything to go on, their thralls will become no more than common undead if they're dispatched. It's not so much a control as in a compulsion.
Well,
Hmm.
A vampire thrall can't harm its master and profits from listening to its orders, but it isn't necessarily under direct authority.
oh, I guess having a bunch of mindless zombies, it beats a bunch of active. Well, actually, it might be interesting. That might lead to some exposure of their cells. Although it might also lead to some chaos, but that chaos would have
Yeah.
ensued regardless. I think.
Something. It's interesting you bring up exposure, though,
You know,
because I was thinking if we were able to completely, if we were able to destroy the Cabal, defeat them, drive them away, make them not a threat, like, if one way that maybe we could gain, because obviously we don't have the resources now to take on the Dread Legion, but perhaps outing the Dread Legion, trying to spread the message they're there, that what they're planning, what they're trying to do, it could draw people to a united cause.
giving people a vague enemy with no physical body, and no real reason to their madness seems a little risky. It seems like the way you get witch hunts, to be honest.
Yes, and the alternative is, or it's much more likely that people will just be afraid and that they will react badly instead of rallying to a cause.
True.
It's saying, look at that bad guy over there, is very effective, but say there's a bad guy somewhere among you, doesn't that's
That never
yeah.
goes
Well, yeah, I didn't mean necessarily say it like that, but
No, but the problem is we can't say it in much. We can't give them much more direction than that.
honestly, the longer we have this conversation, the more I am in favor of just hiring a bunch of spies.
Well, I think we're gonna need the
For
network
whatever.
regardless of what we do next.
Yeah.
But don't think we. It's unfortunately not a one-day job, but we'll figure that out.
Honestly, I think what we need now is information.
An information network is definitely the kind of thing that would help us fighting both enemies potentially.
But
Because we don't know a lot about them, and if we know more about them, we can predict what they're likely to do next.
So there's this one question that's been gnawing at me this whole time we've been having this conversation. We've been talking about the Cabal leadership, but I thought we destroyed the leadership of the Dread Legion. Wasn't that the whole deal with Nella?
was that the leadership?
That's what I thought, at least.
Maybe he was only,
I can't say I was there, but
maybe he was only part of leadership.
well,
If he truly was the sole leader of the Dread Legion, then I couldn't see you guys getting anywhere close. He was clearly
well,
some
Elizabeth,
kind of
we should,
major figure, but I wouldn't.
I feel like
just call him a leader.
I feel like the people that are actually there might have more insight.
True.
Vondal sort of stands up from his chair and looks towards Kelariis and Arya and says, well, I don't know about you two, but when I was there it definitely felt like he was the figurehead of something.
He definitely
I
felt
agree.
important.
Grimm's research showed that he was some prophesied messiah almost.
I guess
Some-
that
Maybe
is.
he was like the Kelariis of the Dread Legion.
Do not make that comparison, please.
Sorry, I just
Um,
meant it in the.
Ferrous, I have a question. I have a vague memory of Neller being pulled backwards through a portal
Yes.
and some weird shit being said. I don't remember if that was something that Kelariis specifically witnessed, or if that was just something that was.
Kelariis
obviously
and V both witnessed it, I believe.
Okay. If you happen to have that information, could I have a quick refresher that I share that with the group, which I'm sure I have done before, but it has been a hot second, and I do remember that being a thing.
So,
Yeah, now that you mention it. Wasn't it when he died?
yeah, basically when he was defeated, a spectral form was left behind that almost seemed like he was getting ready to do
Or
something.
wasn't he
Like,
trying to call aid or something?
yeah,
And,
like
totally fucked it up or something, or whatever.
uh.
Why say fucked it up? But
No, but basically his physical form collapsed. He became a spectral form, and as he became a spectral form, a whispering portal appeared behind him. He seemed terrified by the whispering portal as a bunch of hands came out of it, and he says, "I'm not going back to that prison." As basically the spectral hands grabbed his as his ethereal form and pulled him back through the gateway.
fantastic.
Spooky.
And I'm assuming that we didn't. Well, V may have, but Kelariis didn't understand the whispering, terrible voices. I was
Nobody understood the whispering, terrible voices.
fantastic. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess for the brevity, I re-explained that.
Yeah.
Or Kelariis re-explains that she witnessed that, and just kind of, even if he was leader of something, it seems like something had some sort of power over him. So.
Wait a minute, that rings a bell.
How do you mean?
When you all first met the Cabal, didn't they say something about what was his name? Some demon prince.
Oh, yes. I know who you're.
The one who imprisoned Neller in the first place.
Hmm.
I know who. I know who you speak of. I'm trying to.
Out of character, it's Sabero.
Oh yes, Sabero. I have so many names here.
I was going to try to frantically flip through my notebooks.
Oh yeah, Sabero. Yeah, I have a note. Sabero, source of the Cabal.
I wonder if maybe they're the same. Or not the same. If that's who. Wait, that's the
Oh.
person tied to the Cabal.
Yes.
Yes. So
Okay.
Sabero
Probably
is
not the same person.
I wonder
Sabero is
if that's who
anti-
pulled him back. So perhaps there's somebody else who's maybe looking to undo that to bring him back.
Well,
Wait, so this Sabros guy is a demon?
Demon
So,
Prince.
from what I've learned at least, Sabero seems to be like the kind of like the demon prince jailer, like, and he seems like one of his current interests is making sure that Ferrous Dune, yes, Ferrous Dune, will never see the light of day. The Dread Legion is, well, their goal is to make that happen, which kind of automatically places them in his sights or its sights.
Okay,
And this is
so-
presumably why this entire conflict has come upon us. The Cabal are working for Sabero and want to stop the Red Legion, and the Red Legion want to undo what was done when we defeated him.
Okay, so wait, the Dread Legion, are they demons as well? Or are they...
Well, I guess they. Now that I think about it, it does explain.
Like-
I never really put two and two together, but it does
know.
explain their access to high-ranking demons. Like if
Like-
you have someone like, well,
Like, yeah, is this a war between two demon princes we've gotten in the middle of, or is this something
Tharizdun
else?
isn't a demon, he is a fallen god. Was at some point part of the human pantheon until, well, things didn't pan out, and he tried to cover up humanity, and he was cast out along with all of the other gods by Torm and Pelor.
So if the Dread Legion is led, or in some capacity, or motivated by him, but they're demons in the. Oh, God.
the Dread Legion is motivated by Tharizdun. The Cabal is motivated by Sabero. Which
No, but like,
The problem is here we're talking about the Abyss. Down in the
Yeah, well-
Abyss it's a horrible mess of demons and other madness. It isn't so much who's loyal to who as their... Let me look for an analogy. Perhaps imagine you have a pack of wolves that have been starved. You set them free in a town, they're going to tear anyone and anything apart to satisfy their hunger. Somebody might be able to tame a wolf, bring it to their cause, sort of indicates
What up?
Arya across the room.
Nice.
That's a completely different method of using the wolves than setting a pack of starved animals loose.
Sorry,
Cabal's-
what's that analogy for?
The Cabal are more in control. They seem to have assets that they can call on. The Dread Legion are a doomsday cult. They don't care about collateral damage, so they're just using whatever they can to cause chaos, is what I'm trying to say.
And as for the reason why they decided our plane was the best plane to fight it out on, that is because of some. We haven't really seen a shard since the amulet, but apparently there's a bunch of shards spread on this plane. Perhaps also the others. But with those shards, you're supposedly should be able to bring back Tharizdun.
Do you need all of them or just enough?
As far I think
Well, if you need all
As
of them,
if
you
I
guys have already
believe-
solved that problem.
I believe I was. I can't remember exactly where I got this from. It might have been from the Cabal themselves in one of our conversations. That they only need a chunk of them. They don't need every single one.
Yeah.
Basically what the Supreme Witch told you was that with access to the shards and the artifacts, they could essentially reach critical mass, and
Oh yeah.
because
Yeah,
if they had enough shards, they could use the artifacts to amplify that power and circumvent requiring all of them.
Ah,
yeah, that's the important part that I should also have mentioned.
Yeah.
Well, I think we already knew about that as a group, to be honest.
so
Yeah,
would
it
they
got
need
mentioned at
all
one
of
point.
all of the artifacts in order to do that? Sorry, this is a clarification question,
Well,
mostly at a character. So they need
it's-
all of the artifacts to do that versus just one or two of them.
Yeah, go ahead.
From what the Cabal told you, it's a case of they need to reach critical mass. So it's 666 shards, or 3 artifacts, or a combination of the two that bring enough power.
Ah, I see.
It's basically every artifact is a discount ticket. Or
It's a discount.
Yeah.
It's the bad artifact TM discount.
Bad artifact
God.
TM discount.
It's like a loyalty program, except they're just bad artifacts.
get 20% off on your fallen gods now.
Oh my god. God damn it. My brain literally can't let this go. Are the Dread Legion demons or are they fiends?
Probably whatever they
So-
wish to.
Fiends are 9 hells. Abyss is demons. The Dread Legion aren't demons, but they are affiliated with the Abyss because that is where Tharizdun is chained.
Okay.
Cool.
Tharizdun was once a human god.
But
Or,
yeah,
well,
I
technically
guess-
still is a human god, but is now imprisoned.
But yeah, I guess. Well, no, I guess what I was saying, like earlier, with the whole war between demon princes, is not necessarily implying that Tharizdun is a demon prince, but more there is a demon prince working to free him, for whatever reason.
No.
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 No, the demon prince is working to keep him locked up.
Yes, the humans, or like the cult of Tharizdun, is working to free him.
So then-
But the question was, who is the leadership that is now ruling them? That wasn't
Yeah.
answered.
God damn it, humans!
Fucking humans, man.
God damn it, humanity.
Yep. Capable of so much beauty and yet so much carnage.
Well, so far they've, prevented all total destruction. So,
Did they though?
well, the planes are still here.
Prevented
Yeah,
total
but did they-
destruction that they also almost caused.
Well, to be fair, not all of it, but
True.
Oh, kinda-
they fucking
It-
humanity.
it balances out.
In humanity's fairness, they were once mindless pawns that were just
Yeah.
ordered around by the gods, and then Tritherion came along and said, "Hey guys, have some free will," and then shit went downhill from there.
So in
Okay,
other words, it's all
but-
Tritherian's fault.
No, excuse you, because that also meant that people could now be like, hey, actually, what if we don't do that? So
Yes. Because
Mixed bag.
that was the problem, was that one day Tharizdun and all of the other dark gods went, "Hey, what happens if we take control of humanity and make them do stuff to give us power instead of doing stuff that benefits the whole?" And that was why Tritherion came along and said, whoa, hold on here, let them choose.
And then some of them chose evil.
Yes. Which is why
Yes, but
what the
they-
ones who have chosen good are now trying to prevent.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah, obviously.
and having the choice is better than everybody just being like, meh, mindless pawns for the bad gods. Here we go.
But
Honestly, I like the idea of a main and minus pawn just so I don't have to have this conversation. Fuck, it's like
Wow.
weird.
Dang.
wow.
No, because then you wouldn't have this conversation. That's the
Wouldn't have
point.
free will.
Oh yeah, no, the gods would make you have it just to be evil. Can't believe.
Rather than
I'm not-
offer
I'm
you
not
the illusion
actually-
of free choice, I will take the liberty of choosing for you.
Look, I'm not saying. Okay, I know it sounds like I just said I wish I didn't have free will, but like, I'm only saying that because this conversation is hurting my head. I don't legitimately want that.
Anyway, back into character.
What makes you think that wasn't in character?
Because I was talking to you.
The disembodied voice that we hear from time to time was speaking to us.
I don't know. It is still totally Elizabeth to say that in character. Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Oof. I'm like thinking, how did we end up on this topic?
Because we were trying to clarify who the Dread Legion or
The
what sort of-
the leadership of the Dread Legion was.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, that was what we're trying to
and
figure
we're
out.
still- we kind
Yeah.
of so to the Abyss and to Tharizdun is basically what we came down on, or were clarified.
Well, see,
So there's gotta be.
I just hope, I very, very, very much hope that even though he's somewhat involved, our Sabero is not actually the leader of the not the Dread Legion, of the Cabal, because that would suck.
I mean, it may well be that he's the leader of the Cabal in the same way that Torm is the leader of a church of Torm, or like it's not necessarily that he set it up and started it all and recruited all the members, more that it was set up in his honor to aid him.
Well, if you want to get really technical, again, not the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't
Well,
know. I'm not necessarily suggesting he's the leader of the Cabal. It's more like the Cabal was maybe set up because they agreed with him for whatever reason. I guess the same reason you end up with cults.
I feel like, see,
Just some guy goes, "Hey, dragons are cool," and then loads of people get together and say that, and then now they're a cult. I know that's probably not how that works. God.
There's an important point to be realised here, actually. Thankfully, one of the redeeming qualities about fiends, demons, gods in some cases, is that actually, when it comes to the material realm, they don't have a physical impact on it.
not directly.
Yeah. They rely-
Instead,
rely on
they
others.
choose followers and champions to lead them. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say that is the case we are dealing with, both here with Tharizdun and with Sabero. They have chosen champions. Fortunately, the gods on our side also have some as well.
I guess one of the problems we're going to run into is, well, if actually considering that statement is probably true, I guess destroying the Cabal will just set them back like 100. Well, I don't know how old those vampires are, but probably hundreds of years. I think perhaps we should at some point have someone take note of all of this stuff properly, instead of just leaving it to rumors and
What, are you suggesting that we create a registering board?
what I'm suggesting is that we create like scrolls so that like 500 years from now somebody can unfurl the scroll and like read about the evil Cabal.
Everyone in the room
Well, that-
turns to Elizabeth.
we'll take care of that afterwards, I guess, as long as we remember.
Though, if Sparrow is really intending to stop Tharizdun from being brought back, then potentially if we deal with both threats, or if both threats are try that sentence again. If both threats are dealt with, there may not be a need for another Cabal or something to be made, at least not in the same sense.
That is very true.
Assuming that that is their actual end goal, and if they
Well-
haven't branched off from whatever it is they started with. But regardless,
If there were a way to stop demon lords scheming in their own hells, then, well, we would have done it a long time ago. But
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like we're just gonna free up his time for more devious planning. But perhaps he can have a scheming duel with Tharizdun.
Yeah, the day the demons stop scheming against one another is the day pigs fly. It's the day Vondal shaves his beard.
Well, I see. At least I feel like I've been somewhat swayed into dealing with the Cabal. Well, I don't think you two needed swaying. Elizabeth, what do you say?
I don't like it, but if it's what you guys want to do, I'll do it.
Good. 'Cause that leaves us with a handful of problems. We're going to need something to deal with their mind fuckery.
indeed.
And stakes.
and
Plenty.
steaks.
Lots of steaks.
Enough steaks.
I'm
Very
sure we
important.
can get
Yeah.
plenty of
Elizabeth
steaks.
I
was
can
like-
take care of the steaks.
Good.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Elizabeth like raises her hand, makes her ring visible, and just goes, "Maybe we all need one of these."
Where did you get that from?
That's a very good question.
Uh,
What did I?
a parent.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll just say it was given to her by her grandmother.
As much as
No,
I'd
I
like
was
to-
thinking one parent in particular.
Oh yeah. Of
No.
course, yes. The parent.
The parent.
As much as
Yeah.
I'd like to scour the world for some of those, I think we should try to
Who said
keep
anything
ourselves to a time frame of.
Who said anything about us scouring the world for them?
Well, you hear me out. I think we should limit ourselves to a time frame of 2, maybe 3 weeks,
No, I get you.
Oh.
because we will. I'm pretty sure by then our invitation has permanently expired. I feel like we're already stretching it quite a bit.
So, I'm not an academic, but surely this existence of a ring that protects people from mental influence suggests that somewhere out there's a spell. Or is that, or am I don't know.
Well, I do know a spell that could thoroughly protect one of us from such influence.
Is it the one that lasts 1 minute?
Hang on. No, it's not. Well, no, because that one would protect all of us. This one lasts a full 24 hours.
Okay,
Wild.
well,
The
at least that's
catch
an
is-
improvement.
Catch is, I can't cast it on all of us, and I can only cast it once.
Yeah, that seems to be not the best solution.
No.
Is there a way to?
Well, here's my thought. I'm gonna go out of character. Ferrous,
Yes.
I kind of have experience with. I helped enchant a thing. Do I reckon I could replicate the ring's enchantment in some way, so that if I just had rings, I could enchant them?
You could, but your limitations are time and money.
Yeah.
It took you like a week to make that sword with a master craftsman and all of the resources that you needed.
True.
You have neither the expertise, the premises, the materials.
True.
Yeah.
Alternative, again out of character because Clarks would not fucking think of this. Is there a way to create one-time extra castings of it that we could use?
Technically, yes.
Well,
Scrolls.
that may be an option.
Yeah.
I was gonna
just
say
make
like
50
spell
million-
scrolls.
Yeah, just make 50 million 8th level scrolls.
Look, I'm just saying.
That would be so expensive.
Okay, but
Well,
maybe worth it.
Maybe.
depending on how you want to do it, you would only need 2 or 3.
True.
Because
Can
you-
upcast that spell.
Well, Elizabeth doesn't need one. Elizabeth can
Right.
cast it once, and Elizabeth can write scrolls.
Oh, I wasn't sure she was even capable of casting it right now.
I could cast it right now if you really wanted me to,
Wild.
but I don't know what it would achieve.
No. Just like level-wise, I think is what.
I,
No, yeah,
Okay.
like, I'm literally looking at my spell list at this spell. I
is, there,
know it. It's in my book.
is there really nothing lower level that helps? Like,
Well,
just
I'll
helps?
start-
it-
I'll
Against-
start looking now. But I don't think I have anything like that.
By the way, Elizabeth, you have finished checking the enchantment on the bronze statue and the bottle or the potion. The potion is not a potion. The potion is a vial of a thick gelatinous oil.
Ew.
It is oil of etherealness.
Oh shit,
Oh,
Oh,
that's pretty rad, actually.
okay.
can't control what you can't see.
Heyo.
Unless you can see onto
Don't
the
think
ethereal
that's, I don't know
plane.
if that's how that works, but
definitely doesn't work that way.
The gnomish statue is interesting, and you have a revelation as you deconstruct what it does.
Oh.
This statue, basically, anything within 120, any food or drink within 120 feet of this statue is purified. It is unable to be to contain poison or disease.
Nice.
Um,
That's cool as hell.
And the thing that gives you the revelation, it's why there was a perfectly clear lake in the Dragon's Cave.
Ah, nothing had grown in it because of the fucking... That's cool as hell.
Because otherwise it would have been tainted by all the toxic fog.
Yeah.
Wild. That's
Wild.
wild, actually.
Like we probably need that.
I mean, that'll definitely be useful.
Well, like it just does so passively.
Yes.
Nice.
And how do we do we have any clue of the radius?
120 feet.
Oh, I missed that part.
How big is the statue? Sorry.
It's probably. I think I can't remember if I said it was. I think last time I said it was almost life size, but that's not quite right. It's like maybe a couple of feet tall. No, probably like a foot tall, actually.
We could lug that around.
It's a little unwieldy, but you could.
It's definitely a little unwieldy, but well, actually, if we keep that in our base, nobody can poison our people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like-
actually not bad.
Also, it's a nice little statue of a gnome.
Also, alternatively, could we not place it in the town to keep like water supplies?
Actually, before we do, Fondal, check the ale.
Oh, rip.
No more
Oh,
alcohol.
does it count alcohol as a toxin?
That's
Do
a
we have
very-
lots of-
Rip.
That's a very good question.
Do we have lots of non-alcoholic ale now?
No, because technically you had it at the party, so I'm going to go ahead and retroactively say that it doesn't consider.
Okay, you know what? That's fair.
That would have been so sad. It was like, why am I drinking alcohol and not getting drunk?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's just
Also-
placebo.
Also, to answer
Yeah, fair.
your question, no.
Hmm?
I do not have anything of a lower level that has a similar effect.
That doesn't mean it doesn't exist, though.
No, it just means I don't have it. Well, the only thing I have that has a similar effect is grossly inappropriate.
What?
Because technically I have something that can protect you from divination magics and stuff like that, but it also freezes you in time.
Yeah, that's probably not what we want.
No.
Also,
Hold on.
I should also check my spell list. Don't think I have anything, but you know.
I don't know, I could turn you into something that's too, like, dumb to have thoughts worth reading.
However, I feel like we're gonna need our wits.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
Yeah, but
Another question, by the way, is mind blank.
yes. But having, I also point out, like having that and the ability to, like remove a charm from somebody would also be handy.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
mind blank actually can't do that.
Well, but I'm pretty
I mean,
sure.
I can cover that if that's
Yeah.
the case.
Mind blank makes you immune to the charmed condition, but it won't work to uncharm someone because it has to be a willing creature I touch.
Mm,
Yes.
But yeah, mind blank has a lot of effects.
But yeah, it to clarify it, like as a thing, you can definitely scribe some spell scrolls of that. It's just going to be expensive.
Yeah.
And it lasts for 24 hours once you've cast it, so
be fast.
Yeah, and it's not like it takes a long time to cast. It is an action.
Well, I hope that
Well-
once we enter, we can deal with the situation within 24 hours. Because
Yeah, because
If not, we're-
Elizabeth
Yeah.
casts the spell from the spell scrolls, then casts plane shift, and you're
Oh,
already
I was-
there. So
yeah, I was
Yeah.
more because I was mostly just thinking it's gonna be like fighting for more than 24 hours. My God, that would kill us just of exhaustion.
Also, Ferrous, just oh, I guess it depends on if it's from a spell, but cleansing touch would I assume would cover like removing a charmed effect or something.
what does cleansing touch do?
It's I can basically remove a spell effect from somebody, but I guess because it specifies spell, it has to be like something that was cast as opposed to
Yeah.
ability.
Yes.
Yeah. In the same way,
Okay.
counterspell doesn't work on innate magic.
Right,
So I can't stop a
yes.
tiefling casting Hellish Rebuke.
right.
Wow.
Alright, maybe I don't have a way to remove charm then. Let me
I don't know. Dispel magic would still work because dispel magic doesn't necessarily specify from a spell.
Actually,
it does
It's
say
just
any
a magical effect.
Oh, I guess it is a magical effect. Okay.
could this be the
Hmm.
time that surprise Arya jumps in?
Surprise, Arya.
Oh no,
Well,
it
like-
does say of any spell. Sorry.
You might have the power to actually heal that kind of stuff.
I don't have shit. I have shit. I can summon wolves. That's like my biggest ability. I can create spiky floors. I can turn arrows into fire.
You can. Well, it's
Do
not
you know what I
quite-
have for healing magic? Fuck all.
Well, you have lesser restoration.
Not
Yeah,
even
but
that, bro.
That doesn't charmed.
Oh, but I thought you could. Oh, you can't swap. I thought you could swap spells nowadays.
She
Nope.
can, but that just doesn't do it.
I'm just
Yeah.
not able to have that spell, so...
Hmm.
It's but yeah, it wouldn't be enough.
Wait, lesser restoration?
Yes, you would be able
But
to have it.
wouldn't
Not.
it wouldn't end the effect anyway, so it doesn't make a difference.
Too weak. Actually, yeah, not even your highest level
Yeah.
spells.
Can only end blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
When do we get 5th level spells?
When do we get 5th level spells? When?
Look.
Okay, what
Like
plebs?
level 18 or something.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Never happening.
Maybe 17.
I mean, we're at 15 now. Like it could be worse, but also.
Yeah.
We're just gonna fight our way to the to their base, and then we're level 20 now, bitch.
Hi.
Oh,
Get
that'd be so
wrecked.
cool.
We just gotta grind for a little bit.
That'd be so cool because like if you think at level 18 I'm not taking the ability to cast mage armor and shield whenever the fuck I like, you're very wrong.
It's 17th level that I guess Arya and I would get 5th level spell slot, so
Nice.
great.
I've had 5th level spell slots forever.
Yeah, but can you fucking smite?
I could do
Yeah, that's
better than
right.
smite. I could do better than smite.
Oh, try me.
How about I shoot a bolt of lightning that hits someone and from 150 feet away, and then splits to hit 3 other people who are 30 feet from that person?
Then I say it better go for my shield, because
Yeah, to be fair, you can cast that, and then Kelariis is still standing and says, "My turn."
Also, to be fair, I wouldn't cast that on Kelariis.
yeah, fair.
Why would I cast a lightning spell on Kelariis? If I'm gonna cast anything on Kelariis, I'll cast fucking whirlwind on Kelariis.
Whoosh.
Yeah, get in a whirlwind and fly away, please.
Yeah.
Man. 2 weeks to plan.
Or
This
just
is
go with
gonna-
big old fireball.
I feel like we should have planned ahead better. Should have listened to Arya and
Mood.
Kelariis.
Mood! Listen
Again.
to us, please!
It still has it. Like the other plan still has its merits, but I think we can work with the other result as well.
So back into character for a moment, as you're sort of like discussing your potentials for protection and things. Yeah, Vondar says, well, it seems like we're settled on this plan then. Might I suggest one thing?
Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
As much as I don't like the idea of directly engaging with them to try and learn from them, perhaps there is something that can be gained from this before we go in spell slinging. We still have an unanswered question right now, and that's who's in charge of the Dread Legion. If the Cabal have been fighting them all this time, and espionage is their weapon, maybe they know.
Well, the plan is kind of like, I feel like that's the part that we haven't quite decided on. If we like how intense our conversations will be, if any at all.
Yeah. And we'd be going in with Mind Blank.
Hopefully, if we can arrange that.
Or Vondal, do you mean even ahead of us doing that?
Well, if they're willing to tell you beforehand, then that's a plus, but I get the feeling that's going to be the sort of thing that is discussed in the moment. After all, they want you to help them. If you say who's in charge and we'll go for them, then I might be willing to tell you.
See, there is one small aspect that, like, even if we, I imagine we might be able to talk our way into some information. Although, I wouldn't be half surprised if they've just listened in on this entire thing.
It's possible.
What I would, like, there is still the small detail of that we can't actually kill him, and we're gonna have to bring him back. Was a stake in them. The upside is they're going to be alive, so we could potentially question them, but that would require us daring to remove the stake and potentially risk all kinds of problems.
I'm all for the idea of hostages under most circumstances. I mean, it's people you're not killing, but maybe in this case that's a less of a good idea.
If we're going to question them, we should question them there.
Well, what I'm saying is, regardless of if we succeed or not, we're gonna have to store free staked bodies, at least. Because otherwise, well, it's either stake him or have him roam the planet. Or I say planet, for a realm. Oh well. I think that will be partially a question of our ethics.
I think it'll also be a question of whether or not they allow you to take them hostage.
Well, see, the thing is, we can't really end it till they do. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of don't expect us to get all of them, but we'll see how that works out. We've had things go our way before.
You know, admittedly as well, I've just had a thought. If I knew that if I died, I'd just reincarnate somewhere else, and someone was trying to take me prisoner, I'd definitely just kill myself.
Oh.
So we should maybe watch out for that.
Yeah. Well.
I think in an ideal world, if you were going to force them to give you information, then the prudent thing to do would be to address the whole immortality thing first. But I'm not sure that's going to be possible.
We've kind of decided that it's not going to be possible within reason. Oh well.
Well,
Well, I think we'll have to
I mean,
of.
unless they are prideful enough to keep their own. What is the term? I just blanked. I wanted to say. My brain wants to say respawn site, but I'm just like, that's not the word.
Respawn point.
Respawn site.
To keep their oh, for fuck's sake, safe revive area
They're gray. They're
grave
they're
site?
coffins?
They're grave the coffins.
There's-
Let's go with coffins. Their coffins or grave sites at their actual base. I mean, maybe we'll get lucky, but I wouldn't rely on it.
well,
well,
like,
they'll have
considering
to
you
have
can
something nearby because if the study of vampires again is everything it's matched up to be, they have to rest in them.
Yeah, but we also figured out that they could have more than one.
It's possible.
Guys,
But yeah, we're talking in circles.
I may have just encountered a problem.
Yes.
There's the chance that creating spell scrolls is actually out of our budget if we also want to upgrade the keep, and it's definitely out of our time frame.
Okay. Well, we'll
In
have
Xanathar's
to.
guide, it would take me 32 weeks to make an 8th level spell scroll.
Christ.
Is it
I'd
really
need to make
that
2,
long?
maybe 3. I mean, I'll get out the book myself and check because I've just
Well,
looked it up and someone's
admittedly,
saying it is, but
like-
maybe it might be.
That seems really long to make a spell scroll.
Kind of almost in the realm of legendary artifacts.
It's Xanathar's page 133.
I'll look it up now.
Yeah, here we go. Spell scroll costs 32 work weeks. Describing a spell scroll is listed as a downtime activity. So yeah, 32 work weeks and 50,000 gold.
That
to make
doesn't
one
seem
8th level
right.
spell slot.
That seems.
And I've also just had the thought, if we didn't want to wait 24 hours for me to be able to teleport us back to the material plane, I'd also need a scroll of plane shift, which would be another 16 weeks and 25,000 gold.
Well, let's puzzle out the time frame of it. Maybe nobody's here attempting to do downtime math or potential downtime math for that matter.
Well, otherwise, we can figure that out. Otherwise, we could figure that out during the break, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seems good.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll take a brief break.
Cool.